guys, today we're going to be talking about Ludwig Von Drake for the next Duck adaptations. Here is a quote from him. "Hello there, Professor Ludwig Von Drake here. Search science and all around expand into brilliant things. Professor Ludwig Von Drake is an anthropomorphic duck created by Walt Disney, but technically uncle of Donald Duck. He is presented as a brilliant yet interslater of science who unfortunately displays his visions to express knowledge on a variety of subjects. Ludwig debuted as a professor in Adventure in Color, part of the episode of Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color on NBC, making him the first Disney animated character created successfully for television. I actually saw that video. If you guys want to watch it, I'll leave a link to it down in the description down below. It's actually really good. Background, personality. Ludwig Von Drake comes from the Venom Australian and his foreign with knowledge. In Ludwig's second animated appearance, The Hunting Instinct, Walt Disney says that Ludwig was often described from such universities as Huxford, which means that's where he got very smart, I guess. Cambridge and Hamburg, and in one of his comic strips appearances, Ludwig himself claims that he has auctioned about 98 degrees in total. He is often shown as having little social complaints, however, and this is often portrayed as being very forgetful, sometimes even somewhat senile. And actually, Ludwig Von Drake, it might not say it here, but he actually works at a college himself. I found that out in a comic book that I read about Uncle Scrooge, and he appeared in that comic book, and he worked at a college, so I'm just saying that for facts. He's like a professor there. History. From 1980, Walt Disney entered intro television production as early as 1950. By 1954, he had his often weekly catalog TV series called Disneyland on ABC. In 1961, after a disagreement, Disney changed his loyalty to NBC and added color to the mix, and renamed the show Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color. In order to attend his new feature, his company also created the brainy Australian. Yeah, he's Australian. I thought he was Russian, but he's not. So, no, that's totally wrong. Hold on a minute, I could be wrong about the accent here, so you just beware with me. Australian. Scientist Ludwig Von Drake. Attachedly, Walt has valued the new character as a way to keep animators around the studio busy with new content. He called upon 7 of the legendary Night Old Men to handle the animating for Ludwig II episodes. He was ordinarily discussed as animated by legendary animators like Ment Kilt and Wright Kimball. I actually might have said their name wrong, so be aware of that. Sorry if I said their name wrong. And about the accent thing, don't worry about that. I'm not really sure if I'm correct about what I just said on here. It was said to have been insured in part by with the Ludwig Von Drake decision. Ludwig Von Drake's wrestling. His accent voice was permitted by Paul Frees, who was also well known as the voice behind Ghost Host in Disneyland's The Haunted Mansion attraction. Walt gave Frees a healthy attract of freedom of literacy when it came to shaping Von Drake's personality as a libertine was increased, much of which his added spirit. Ludwig Von Drake was attended in 1961 with the introduction to Walt Disney's television series Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color. From there, he became a recurring character in Disney's related television projects, usually learning in the setting topic. In total, Von Drake would appear in 16 episodes of the entire series, spanning from Adventure in Color, Mathematica, in 1961, a Thing to Alaska. In 1967, the latter episode was also at last to feature Walt Disney as the host, who died months Porter. On December 19, 1962, Ludwig Von Drake starred in his only drastic appearance in a feature titled A Symphony on Popular Songs, which featured on Ludwig Von Drake's later bout music of describes ennobling as to Academy Award for Best Animated Short Film. In 1970s, the Von Drake appeared in few commercials and premiered featuring newly record voices of record of animation, 1980 to 1990. After Ludwig's transition from the editing series, the character would appear randomly in vision spots such as Donald Duck's 50th birthday, The Magical World of Disney, broadcast in 1984, and Down Out with Donald Duck in 1987, both of which featured Ludwig Von Drake Durley. With Donald's utterly temper, also in 1987, the Von Drake hosted Disney's DTV Night Television special, alongside Mickey and Jiminy Cricket. He also appeared as the host of the Disney's Sing-Along Song series of videos. I actually have a few copies of the tapes of Sing-Along songs myself. The one that has him in it, in particular, is Under the Sea. And I will show you that on a tape review at some point. Beginning with You Can Fly in 1988, which I also have as well, as a DVD anyway, Von Drake would later appear as the host of the following volumes: Fun with Music, aka 101 Notes of Fun, Under the Sea, I Love to Laugh, and the final being Colors in the Wind, released in 1995. 1950 present the 1991 Von Drake hosted the television special Lifestyle of Rich of the animated, where he takes the look of private lives of classic Disney characters. Ready around this time, Von Drake made major of comebacks with pair of Disney's afternoon television book, making appearances in several programs. Now voiced by Carol Bergen, which I actually heard of. I'm actually familiar with that guy, voicing him all the time. I never heard of the other guy before, but I actually was familiar with this guy more often than I was with the other one. The first being the Texan series DuckTales, where he made a guest appearance. In 1999, Mickey Mouse Works prepared ABC and featured Von Drake as the star of his own animated shorts, including the gag symphonies, Von Drake's House of Genius, which I used to watch when I was a kid. I also used to watch The House of Mouse as well, as called the House of Genius as well. That's why I loved him. As a kid, I loved him. In following years, Von Drake religiously appears in television shows, comics, video games, and other media centers, Mickey Mouse and His Friends, serving as the same main scientist of the visions of the expressions of the cause mayhem. I'll also leave a link to other stuff that I have seen recently about Ludwig Von Drake if you guys want to learn more about him. Like, I'll put a whole playlist of the Ludwig Von Drake songs that he had made as a disc, so I'll put that link down below if you want to learn more about him. Von Drake became a very popular recurring character and appeared many times hosting the weekly show, following as due to his some intellects in his would even interest to Walt Disney in an adventure in color. Walt tended Ludwig to have his own old friend and longtime assistant discuss the card to remember his name. Several episodes was firmly selected to Ludwig's character. In the hunting instinct, Walt revealed the professor is the brother of Donald Duck's father. He further explained that the Drakes, being Donald's permanent family bunch, as the eggheads of the duck chain. In the same episode, Von Drake was given a champion, Herman the companion, Herman the Boldly Beetle, who would become a recurring sidekick to Von Drake, the letter referring to Herman as his best friend. In the Inside Donald Duck's best friend. Inside Donald Duck, the first episode to showcase Von Drake tended to his nephew. Ludwig ties to press Donald's problem with violence, different antics in Kids is Kids. He once again looked to Donald's for doing research, forcing his familiar relationship with his Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Von Drake's grandmother, whom Ludwig claims was none other than the original Mother Goose, was also attended to the truth about Mother Goose. In the same episode, Von Drake appeared as the host of the Mickey and the Beanstalk short, originally a segment part of the Fun and Fancy 3 free animated collection, and he and Herman replaced the film's original narrator. Here's of Edgar Bergen and his envisioned dummy Charlie McCarthy puppet. DuckTales. Von Drake made a guest appearance on DuckTales as Launchpad McQuack's psychologist in the episode The Golden Fleecy. In the episode, Launchpad claims to him experienced an encounter involving a band of hippos and visitates the professor to speak to the dissing matter. However, Ludwig scoffs to the urge to station as the hurling dream, but in the end, Launchpad returns to his love's sake as proof, resulting in a nervous breakdown between himself and a same Professor Ludwig Von Drake. Bonkers. Von Drake, respectively, his role in Social Quest appearances on Bonkers, appearing mostly on the episodes narrated by Craze and Robert Hookluck. Now, forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, but I'm not really sure if he does whatever I said before. He plays a key role in the several episodes in Due to Toon's Dream of Animated Sheep. His attention's bonkers in finding out the case of his missing dreams in the Toon That Ate Hollywood. Von Drake creates an invention complete of increasing a Toon's humor levels and capacity to groundbreaking for the Toon's world. However, the invention is exactly stolen by two Mysterious clowns in Bobcat Fever. Von Drake teams up with Bonkers. Ghosts began hunting to the police station, resulting in Von Drake completing a way to blast them in Toon for a day. Social 2 believes he is a Toon after getting hit in the head, resulting in the professor coming into the psych to solve the problem. In Quack Pack, Von Drake resides in a laboratory in Duckburg and also runs a pizza delivery service, which pays for his science experiments in the real Mighty Ducks. Huey, Dewey, and Louie visit Von Drake after Duck ordered them to clean their room, until they noticed one of the Von Drake's luncheons offered to test it. Don Ludwig allows them to do some, and the machine gives them sugar abilities. Huey gems the power speed. Dewey gems the incredible knowledge of Louie, genius's power strength. Ludwig has also called for by President during the Lowling Citizens that after the boys revealed the powers, they were them to fight crime. Later in the episode, Donald also uses the machine to become a supervillain. Ooh. Von Drake returned in Duck Quack where he creates a earthquake crater with a actual stolen by Huey, Dewey, and Louie overnight. Furthermore, Ludwig made appearances in the episodes Need for Speed and Cat and Loose. Mickey Mouse Works. In series, Von Drake has given his own short series entitled Von Drake's House of Genius, where he created a new invention might make life easier, but the creation backfired, often to get destroyed in the end. He did, however, star in the three rather cartoons, one being Relaxing with Von Drake, with the professor appearances to erase Donald Duck's nervous system in the spinner. Von Drake creates a toll booth in from Asthma. Forget if I'm saying those words wrong. The professors latest invention is tested, Mickey and Donald and Goofy. Von Drake also made appearances in other character cartoons, most notably Mickey Files the Phantom Blot, where the professor asks Mickey, Donald, and Goofy to deliver his very invaluable credit card to him as a different location. At your time, the reason being that the professor is being hunted down by a criminal mastermind, the Phantom Blot. He also made a small cameo in Locksmiths. In the series, Ludwig's mother, he who could be hard but voice was tended. Later he voiced to April was heard after again in House and Mouse. Forgive me if I'm saying these things wrong. Ludwig is a recurring character in the series, a naughty professor type character. He had roles in a few episodes where he was the main force. The most notable is his Ask Von Drake. Here, Nicky tries of Von Drake's knowledge absolutely everything and challenges the professor throughout the whole evening. In the end, Mickey thinks of one last challenge. Name every guest member in the club. Von Drake seemingly gets through the head crew of all the Disney characters with race. In song about afterwards, Mickey points out that he forget one person himself. That song is actually really catchy and it's actually really fun to watch. So I'll add a link to it. There's not really an original one because a lot of people have made memes on it of different versions. So there's even a remix version of it. So I will leave a link to the version I use. And if you're welcome to make your own, that's wonderful because it's actually really fun to make this version of this song. It's actually really fun. I had never done it before because I have the technology for that, but if you guys want to check in on it, you might as well. Anyway, back to here. In other episodes, the professor was often called upon to help solve some of the problems in the club. In Super Goof, Von Drake was called to determine where a outcoming major will strike. In House of Crime, when all the guests go missing, Von Drake creates a device to lead the heroes to the compart. Unbreaking to them, the point was the Phantom Blot, and he had the mysterious quest to inside Drake's machine. In the Dining Goofy, when Goofy gave the quest to his wrong meals, Von Drake invited the animation touch screens computers for them to order for. Also in House of Genius, Von Drake creates a robot device of Mickey, Minnie, Donald, and Daisy, and Goofy, Pluto. In the end, when Von Drake brings a robot delight of himself, Mickey tells the robot to send the real Ludwig packing. Von Drake also appeared in the film Mickey's Magical Christmas, Snowed in the House of Mouse, where he went on stage to give about the science of Santa. This science was later respected in the episode Pete's Christmas Caper. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Here, Ludwig Von Drake is a recurring character and the creator of the Clubhouse. He created the Clubhouse as a gift for Mickey, with the visions and items that make life much easier, including the handy helpers and the Toolies. Von Drake often creates new. He also made Toodles. Creates new inventions that go wrong completely. Well, these are the ones that kind of went right this time, apparently. He also made an update to Toodles when he got him a face and everything. Like his previous appearances, many of his inventions caused trouble, such as when Donald drank his poison and transformed it into a frog, or when Magical Gru has him grown mounting Goofy, despite of his number of inventions, saved the day, such as the time when the color was being droned from the world, and he used a device to get it back. He is the most intelligent of the group and most problem solving of their due to his ideas of inventions. Von Drake returns in the Mickey Mouse animated series, first appearing in the episode Down the Hatch as the museum scientist tour guide entrance in the Disney Scientific Murals. These include the Shrank Ray, which falls into the hands of Mickey and Goofy, resulting in an adventure written in Donald's caverns. In the end, Mickey and Goofy's drunk dancing wears off and results in Donald laying an egg hatching into the duo. And Ludwig tends the trio on his discovery on Men from Egg, and opening and pouncing on the idea of the further inventions, much to Donald's destiny and fear. Von Drake also appeared in the episode Wonders of the Deep, where he takes Donald, Mickey, and Goofy on a voyage to explore the wonders of the deep. And an excited Mickey asks the professor if the voyage can next force of the finding legendary creatures, such as the mermaids and the kraken. The professor, believing in the facilities of finding the kraken to be low beginnings, catching to the chance before suddenly being jealous of the voyage of the submarine into the sea and being eaten by a clam. The clam crashes the Von Drake off, leading to Mickey and Donald traveling to rescue him. Thirdly, they do battling off of the giant squid in the pressing when Professor is freed from the clam inside the submarine. It is revealed that he is obviously of any sort of danger, as well as the squid battle as he was still arguing impossibilities of finding one. He learns that there's still a chance and asks Mickey and Donald and Goofy if they would make to search for it, resulting in a fearful Mickey and Donald setting themselves of the submarine in the same clam and that ate Von Drake. In Duck the Hills, a Mickey Mouse Christmas special, Von Drake manages to the south he moves to the south for the winter season alongside Daisy, Scrooge, McDuck, and Huey, Dewey, and Louie. As a family trip, Donald was meant to join, but according to Daisy, he stayed behind to celebrate Christmas with Mickey and the others. Ludwig mourns to the loss of to a pig for the experiments, but more firmly complains that Donald is given in grave danger should he stay in the north for too long, as a duck can't survive in such weather. With Daisy and Scrooge believing Donald will join them soon, however, they try to enjoy their vacation. Von Drake asks Huey, Dewey, and Louie if they're having fun, but like the others, they can't seem to enjoy themselves without Donald. Daisy then decides to save Donald from winter, but he arrives in the South with Daisy and the others in Santa's sleigh, which crashes lands. When it appears, Donald was killed in the crash. Ludwig covers Huey, Dewey, and Louie's eyes. However, he survived, and Christmas is hastily celebrated in the South. Ludwig is exchanging gifts with Scrooge, Moneybag, for the holidays, while Scrooge gives Ludwig telescope, although the two exchange warmly. They are the same playing checkers together as the day continues in the end. Mickey and the Ropester Racers. Ludwig appears in the animated racing series alongside in the Hot Dog Hills alongside with the other characters. He was a legendary beneath Mickey's garage, where he looks at the inventions and is able to comment to his Mickey's and the others through a video monitor. Ludwig first appeared in the episode Smarty Goof, where he invents a hat complete to turn its honest into a genius. DuckTales 2017 series. Ludwig is set to appear in the reboot series. According to Commander Frank, some guy named Frank, I can't say his last name, but I'll leave a link to this to the description down below if you guys want to look at it. Ludwig's role will place the full attention of the show's story. Other appearances in Roll Tunage. Ludwig Von Drake makes 2 quest appearances in the episode 1 and 8 in the Expert to Tune stuff. Comics. The Disney studio exchanges the writers of the Donald Duck comics into new character in the print of already in September 1961. Von Drake starred appearances in Alf and the Bob, featuring in daily strips. However, alongside from the brief appearances in one page story, Uncle Scrooge. 54. December 1961. The character was not used by leading Daisy Duck artist Clark Barks. In 1961, Disney Duck Comics launched a comic book series starring Von Drake before being discontinued. The character did keep making Disney appearances in other comics titles such as Walt Disney's Comics and Stories in the Donald Duck's newspaper strip. In the comics, Ludwig usually visits in his relatives, usually right now, Donald Duck and Huey, Dewey, and Louie. On auction, Daisy Duck would come as well, or even Track, the professor, into giving lessons on tours for her ladies' friends club in the comic book. He works as a college professor at Duckburg's Count University. Nowadays, Ludwig is still a popular and frequently appearing character in Disney comics and using those in India. And it's also popular in Italy. No wonder I like him so much. Because I am actually a part Italian. Video games. Mickey Saves the Day. 3D Adventure. Von Drake was a supporting character in the game and was seen inside the laboratory, which was visited by Mickey. Here, Von Drake must attend to Mickey on his quest to find the manger of Disneyville. Minnie Mouse who has got missing. After Mickey finds Minnie trapped in the Tower of Pete's lore, he uses Von Drake's flying complaints to crash and rescue her. Mickey's Speedway, USA. Ludwig has been organized to the race of tournament of the journey into the rescue Pluto. He was also a secret, unforgettable character. Disney Golf. Ludwig is a playable character in the game. To unlock him as a player, must select Minnie Mouse and win a few games. Other games in Disney's Cartoon Arcade. Von Drake threw the animated launch the player through the Disney shorts of guides from a mini game based on the same said short. In Goofy's Still History Tour, Ludwig appears in the opening cutscene as Goofy and Pete's employer in the History Museum. In Mickey's Racing Adventure, Ludwig, along with Magica Dispel in another part of the game, help the racer in the game. The player goes to Ludwig for car upgrades in the Department of the Disney Dollars, and will also tell you where the test track is. Disney Parks. Ludwig Von Drake makes exactly rare appearances at the walk-around character at the Disney parks. However, despite only appearing beneath in the past science earlier 2013, Von Drake has made quite a few appearances throughout the Disney theme parks, usually alongside Scrooge McDuck. Disneyland Resort. In Mickey's Toontown, a window for Ludwig Von Drake's old classic shop can be seen on one of the buildings. During the premiere of World of Color in 2010, Ludwig Von Drake was featured in the special music video, in co-starring alongside Walt. Played before the show, and Ludwig was also part of the former Mickey Mouse reveal, where he played a role in it. In 2013, the Von Drake met and greet appearances in Disneyland as part of the Disney Dreamers Everywhere events. Walt Disney World Resort. In 2008, Disney Parks released a promo starring Von Drake as he and a narrator explained Google Earth's feature allowances using to tour Walt Disney World Resort in 3D on their computer. In the Mouse Gear Shop, located around the different parks, most notably Epcot, as a song of Ludwig. A thing of Ludwig can be seen in the artwork hanging on the top of the shop. In Journey 2013, made special appearances of the Magic Kingdom as a part of the limited time magic event. Disneyland Paris of the statue of Ludwig Von Drake is featured in the Disneyland Parks Paris at the Disney Villains Disney store, as well as the Storybook store. Along Mickey Avenue, Ludwig Von Drake was a spot seen to named Ludwig Von Drake Fireworks Factory, and that is in somewhere in another Disney park area. It won't be in California though. Film graphic. Main article. Sorry about that. I didn't have to read that. Von Drake. This is trivia. Von Drake is the first Disney character made specifically for television. According to Walt Disney, Ludwig is the brother of Donald Duck's father. This relation was not carried over into the popular Donald Duck comic stories, especially those written by Carl Barks and Don Rosa, as he was not included in the comic of Donald Duck's family tree. Instead, Ludwig's relations to the comic Donald family was and has been directed to the overall only Donald Duck, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and Scrooge Duck have been consistently featured as Ludwig's relatives in both animated of comic stories. Writer Don Rosa featured the professor as the husband of Matilda McDuck, one of Scrooge McDuck's sisters. However, this could not be true, as Ludwig states in Kids that he is a recover, which means he's going to be single forever. So what I said, Matilda Duck cannot be true anymore, because I guess he's a bachelor. Yeah, he's a bachelor. Yeah, so I guess he can't be married to Matilda. So, yeah. I guess he's just a brother of Donald Duck's dad's, which he is, according to Walt and me. So 1960s Disney comics, including Tony Papers of Barn Directors, first published in 1961, the state at Ludwig's grandma's Duck's cousin. This relationship was even further resolved in the German of the Duckburgs, USA. First published in 1961. Here, Grandma reveals that Ludwig is the son of her maternal aunt and the certain bird of Von Drake. In the consult to these classic comics, a character performed preface to the poster of Von Drake in the German Disney comic magazine. Nicky Hughes magazine states that he is Grandma Duck's nephew rather than her cousin. In one story, Von Drake was treated as a deserted relative that traveled from Australia to meet his American family. He was greeted by Donald, Scrooge, Grandma Duck, Gladstone Gander, Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and Gus Goose, rather than interfering with his relationship with each character. Von Drake was simply referred to as their disguised relative. He is possibly as seen in Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color, Ambidextrous Wonderful World of Color. He writes with his left hand, faithfully near the beginning, and writes on the chalkboard with both hands. It's actually kind of true, because I remember watching a few episodes of Ludwig Von Drake, and I remember him using both of his hands a lot of times, so I don't really know exactly what kind of hand he actually is stronger with, but I can tell you right now that it's ambidextrous, because I can see it on here, so it's kind of true that he uses both, I guess. I see him use both, so I kind of agree that he did. Before he was said to have married Matilda McDuck, Ludwig dated a duck lady named Alice in a series of 1985 newspaper comics. Alice and Ludwig met each other through a dating club system and kept forgetting each other's names. When Ludwig first met Walt Disney, he assumed the letter that worked for Donald, despite it being the other way around. And that's it. That's all about Ludwig Von Drake. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later.